All right, guys, good morning. We're going to talk this morning. I haven't really got a title just yet, but we're going to talk about a super cool graphic that we're coming up with the help of some AI tools for the website. So what we've got is humans are being represented by dots or whatever species. This is a species map that is universal. It doesn't matter what species we put in here. We studied the mice in Universe 25. We studied wolves on multiple continents. We've studied so many different species. We're not considering humans to be one of the species we're studying, and yet we're the most studied species. We're just not assigning the same information. We're not making those connections to the rest of the species we've studied. So while the model that we've designed, this graphic for the website, it's showing a small city with humans represented as little dots, just moving in kind of figure eights or whatever, just moving around the city. And so everybody is starting out as a green dot, then progresses to a yellow dot, then progresses to a red dot. The red dot represents violence, potential violence or actual violent acts. And so what you're doing is you've got three little bars on the bottom, and you can move the bars. So you can put this anywhere. The first bar represents how many people are in this. So if we move the bar from left to right, it's just like a bar for sound or for brightness on your computer. We can hold the cursor over it and push the bar anywhere we want. Fewer of the species, more of the species, fewer of the species. The second bar is species energy. We can increase or decrease the energy. The third one is distance to energies. And so we've got a couple of larger dots that are representing the species-specific energy, the energy for that species inside of there. Now, as we lower the population and increase the species energy, these things are kind of chilling. These things are kind of chilling. They're moving relatively slowly, calmly. Everybody's just milling around, having a good time, conversating. Everybody's chilling the most. And all the little dots are green. And then, as we move the species energies away, or decrease the species energies, or increase the population, exacerbate the situation. These guys are becoming fewer and farther away. These little dots start moving around faster, and they turn yellow. They start turning yellow and moving around real fast until we start seeing red dots throughout this graphic. The red dots represent the possibility for violence, the tendency for violence. This is a mathematical equation. You're going, hey, that dude was normal yesterday. Good credit score, good condo, good wife, good friend support system, good family support system. And then snap, he goes and shoots up a school. He has a whiteout situation. Blackout is where you drink and you can't really remember anything. But the reason we call it a blackout, that person says, "Hey man, I kind of just saw black. It was nighttime. I saw black, and that's what I can remember. My little demon shell went on a party run. Maybe there was sex, maybe there was alcohol, maybe there was drugs. I don't know. It was black." When somebody during the day, doesn't really matter when, but somebody's sober and goes on one of these runs, maybe because they got cheated on, we actually have a lot of leeway in the law for somebody that has actions that kind of feel outside of their control. You get cheated on, you find out about that. If you premeditate a murder, if you go, "Man, I really don't like that guy," or "There's a financial benefit, I'm going to go kill that guy," there's going to be twice the consequences, far the greater consequences, versus you walk in and discover, your wife with another fella. We're going to say, "Hey, you're not really responsible." This is written in to our law. "Hey, you're not really responsible for that. This is an automated reaction. Your body did this, but you didn't do this." Everything that I'm talking about, we know factual since the beginning of time. And so we're talking about this all the time. "Hey man, my body did something that I'm not responsible for. I wouldn't have chosen to do that, but something inside of me, the right hemisphere, took control of me and made this decision." In this model, we're going to see these people start moving quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, getting antsier and antsier, and then we're going to start seeing these violent situations. As we move the species-specific energies, reduce them and move them away from the people are going to start moving around and as well as increasing the number of people. We're going to start seeing them moving around, and we're going to start seeing little yellow dots. Then we're going to see the yellow dots stop flashing and being potential violence, potential chaos. And now we're going to start seeing red dots, and that is the violent situations. We watch your news. We don't want them, but that's what we're seeing the headlines anyway. That's what they're suggesting we watch every day on social media, on whatever media platforms. It's saying, "Hey, teacher slept with a bunch of students. Hey, teacher sold sex with the students. The police are pimping out their wives. They're stealing $500,000 a year. You're being told they're making $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year. We're finding out not only is that not what they're making, but they have the ability of stealing $500,000 simply by choosing when they're going to work. I'm going to take this week off. Next week, I'll clock in for 100 hours and get double pay. If I'd have worked 40 hours last week and 40 hours this week, it'd all be regular pay. But if I clock in differently, I can clock out 100 hours of overtime a month and get an extra $500,000 a year. Just constant. And it's not in there. It's just like that. We're not increasing the population, but there's zero species-specific energies. There's zero. In this graphic, we're moving this bar to represent less. What about zero? What about zero? This morning I was feeding a dog. There's a dog. I feed a bunch of dogs. I ride the bicycle for 3 hours. I'm carrying a bunch of meat. Normally, I've processed birds. I have cooked birds in the pressure cooker, and then the whole corpse, I pressure cook them down to the point where the meat in between the spinal in between the spinal sections actually comes out. It's just butter. But what's left is gelatinous stuff with the bones. So I toss that in the sack, I take it with me, and I feed all the dogs. And some of the dogs that are earlier on chains. Now, this young lady, which I assumed was a boy, I kind of assume they're all boys until they get pregnant. You know, like, hey, wait a minute. You're not a dude. But this dog was super starved for attention because it's always chained up. And so I'm telling people, hey, whose dog is this? And they're like, we don't know. It's a stray dog, so we chained it up. And so this dog has very little ability to get energies. I'm not even going to say species-specific energy, any energy. This thing would be, you know, if some people were coming by and giving food and water, it just starved to death on this chain. And so it's a great example. I'm not proving the methods there, but it's not my dog. Quite frankly, they keep trying to give me the dog, but it's not really ethical to bring dogs to my house because every dog that comes here gets killed by cars going by. We don't have any speed bumps. We need speed bumps in front of the house. There's this huge curve. Nobody slows down and goes, hey, I can't see around the corner. They're zombies. Zombies don't do that. You have to put speed bumps and signs in front of them. However, we've got a crooked government just right here, and they don't want to acknowledge that we're a city. We have all the taxpayers, but they're taking all of the taxes to the next city. And so they don't want to acknowledge we're a city, so they won't give us speed bumps. And so you really can't have a pet here. It's just, I'm telling the people, this dog's better off where it is. Everything in that neighborhood just dies the first week it's there. Let's keep him here. But it's a great mental example anyway. This dog gets pregnant. It's on a chain. It has no ability to get food. It can't sneak out a little bit extra food. It now has 5 puppies. Each of the puppies are approximately 1/3 of this dog's entire weight, and they can't even see yet. So this dog is having to produce probably its body weight in milk every single day to support these 5 lives. So this dog went from being super chill. You come and pet this dog is like, all right, I love being petted. You walk right past this dog couldn't give 2 fucks. He's not going to go, hey dude, this is a bummer. You know, what the heck? I thought we were friends. This dog's chilling the most. Whatever you do, he's cool with it. But we have 5 puppies to support now. You're coming by with me. There is another dog, another sweet puppy, that's easily the size of this new mother. And so this puppy will run over to me, and I greet that puppy first. And then I go sit down and play with the brand new puppies and the mom, and then I give them all meat. Now, before, the dog really couldn't care less who got meat. However, at this point, this dog is producing its entire body weight in milk every single day. What's going out is set. What's going in to produce that milk is also set by the chain. There's 0 species-specific energy right there. This dog is living in a yard full of grass. This dog cannot eat grass or dirt. And so, this dog's body is changing. That right hemisphere is changing. All of a sudden, if I go to give meat to the other puppy, the puppy from another house, this dog sounds like it's going to murder somebody. Now, it's on a chain, and we're standing 15 feet away. There's no danger for this little guy, but he's still yelping and running because the sounds coming out of this dog are violent. it sounds like it's killing an animal right now because of the desperation. Now I want you to understand how this example applies to you guys. This is what's happening to you. You could have a family, 5 family-sized bags of name brand potato chips right here. But your body isn't saying, oh good, we got the food, we got the species-specific energy. If that's just ultra-processed shit, that's good for nothing but suicide. If the body's trying to murder itself, great. We've got the tool. We got a bunch of fucking chemicals that are made up to taste like food, so we can take this poison pill down nice and easy. If the body's actually looking for food to make human products, you don't have anything there, guys. There's nothing. Your body is saying, hey dude, I'm starving. And you're saying, we just ate. What are you starving for? We just ate. I'm full right now. I'm full to capacity. I'm physically full to capacity. And your body is saying, I'm starving. Why? That ain't food, motherfucker. That ain't food. Your body is measuring for species-specific energies alive in the plants and trees and on the hoof inside of your space. It's screaming for you, give me food. And you're saying, I just did. And your body's responding, motherfucker, that's not food. That's not species-specific energy. That's being branded as species-specific energy. It is not your species energy. We've taken food from a cow, food meant for a cow. We've stripped the nutrients out of it. We've put a bunch of chemicals in it to make it taste, make it craveable. Your body's saying more, 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 more. But when you're all the way full, it's saying, where's the food at? And you're going, God damn it, I just ate. Why is this crazy voice inside of my head telling me to find food when I'm physically full to capacity? I couldn't put more in without causing that pain at the top of your stomach when it's meeting your esophagus. Guys, that's what's going on. And if there's any hiccup, we should have more of those bars, or as the species-specific energy becomes more expensive. Species-specific energy doesn't become more expensive in your fucking yard, but as we move that bar and move the species-specific energy farther away, or make it more expensive, right? We almost need another bar. These things are running around all over the place, and all of a sudden we're seeing the yellow dots, and now boop, boop, we're seeing red dots. Uh-oh, that's not potential, that's violent. That's violence. That's violent situations that have transpired. That's called the police. We gotta put this out. Stuff going on as we move these bars, as we increase the species, as we decrease the species-specific energy, as we distance species-specific energy by space or by price. Now all we have to do is have a couple of sick days. Oh man, I got super sick, I didn't work for 3 days. Oh man, my boss is unhappy about that. He wants me to work less. That's going to move the species-specific energies farther away financially. I got 4 kids to feed, 5 kids to feed, 5 people in my house, 5 mouths to feed, and you're limiting, you're removing the species-specific energy. All of a sudden you're seeing a dog that's acting like a rabid animal. Ah! Ah! that's the most chill dog you've ever met in your entire life, and you're going, whoa, dude, what happened to the chill? And it's saying, hey, there ain't no chill, motherfucker. I'm on a chain. The amount of energy being expended is set. The amount coming in is zero. This thing is eating my insides in order to make this milk, which is very beautiful, but you're going to see an absolute change. This chill in the most dog is all of a sudden going to seem like a chained up zombie dog. The sounds coming out of this dog would perfectly fit in a horror movie. And you're going, hang on, dude, wow. He gets a little bit too. And this dog is saying, I need all of the, I bring a lot of meat. Nobody's short of meat. I'm giving out handfuls of meat to these guys. Very beautiful animals process bones for us. If you stuck a bone in your garden, in a year you'd have a bone there. Some of the energy might make its way out. Maybe the softer marrow will make its way out, but you're going to have a bone there in a fucking year still. You give a dog a bone, that dog is going to process that bone in one day. The main processing will be done in 30 seconds. Inside of 24 hours, that bone is compost. Perfect, beautiful compost. Calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, nitrogen, microorganisms. It's everything. It's everything in 24 hours. Your dog is such a beautiful tool for your garden, the processing potential of this animal to help you out. When you're throwing fucking balls for your dog, pointless for you and for the dog. That dog was like, hey, for billions of years, I was purpose. You're misusing my gifts. I'm burning energy before I was helping you out. We were doing this together. We were surviving. We were thriving together. Because we were working together, now we have this apparent abundance, and you're just chucking a fucking ball for no apparent reason? What the fuck? I was bringing back vegetables. I was bringing back fowl for millions of years. And now this dead-ass zombie society have these poor animals just neutered of their purpose before, when they brought life into this world. That meant survival for the human. Can you imagine how beautiful, how purposeful that dog felt? That dog was bringing you back fucking coconuts. That dog was bringing you back fowl from a hunt. And now you're just chucking the ball. You're sick of chucking the ball, but you got to chuck the ball. You got to get the energy out so this fucking dog will go to sleep and leave me alone. This was all beautiful, and now America has killed all of us. Guys, with no bad players. There's lots of bad people, but there's no bad, there isn't some group that's going, twisting their mustache, saying, here's how we're going to get these motherfuckers. Everybody's just doing their job, but the church is broken as 4,000 years ago. This system of staring up at the sky instead of having a relationship with the soil. Staring up at the sky saying, give me food, and if there's a God up there, he's saying, hey, dumb shit, I gave you soil and seeds. There's endless food. Stop looking up at me. Just look down. You're throwing seeds in the garbage. There's a soil right there, and there's a garbage can right there. And for some fucking reason, you're throwing those seeds into the garbage can and then saying, God, you've stolen the food. And God's going, what the fuck, dude? You missed. You missed. It looks like you were trying to throw those into the soil where they go to give you endless free food, and you missed. It accidentally went into the wastebasket to go to a landfill where you're not going to grow food because human waste is necessary. for the human life cycle. Guys, excuse me. This guy's up there going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you on your knees with your hands touching together for some weird fucking reason? You look dumb. Just unclasp those motherfuckers and just put some seeds in the soil. That's it. You don't stretch the plants out. They do it by themselves. You pee and poop. You already pee and poop. You don't have to try to, manufacture something else. You already pee and poop. That's everything the plant needs. Everything the plant needs is just coming out of you. Everything that you need is just coming out of the plant. This is a system that goes on forever, unless you break it. So the church said 4,000 years ago, okay, stop and stare at the sky, clasp your hands together, and wait for God to give you the abundance. Once we're starving, now they give us this tiny bit of energy. Tiny bit of energy. This tiny bit of energy. Not enough to do anything with, and now, you're this aggro dog on a chain. Saying, hey man, I'm desperate for this energy. And now, we start seeing those yellows, and then boop, red, boop, red. This isn't random. This isn't the end of times. This isn't some unavoidable human ending. This is a system that when we apply the Bible, we see every single time. When we apply this system of separating yourself from free energy for life, free species-specific energy for life, death every single time. All these civilizations die. America's imploding right now. Nobody's making sense. Yesterday, Sachs, I don't know what that is, but Sachs came out and he said, here's the thing about the narcissistic president, but he's sitting there with two licensed psychologists that are just nodding their head. At no point did he say, hey guys, you're the pros, take it away. It's just these two, very expensive professionals kind of jerking off this guy while he's diagnosing the president. When there's two fucking professional. So he came off as crazy as the fucking president. Everybody inside of this diagram every single time. As we increase the distance and price, everybody starts going crazy. The people that are going, the billionaires are nuts. You're going, wait, dude, do you have a mirror handy? Because you're not looking that great. You're not looking that great yourself over there, Cheech. We got to slow it down a little bit. Nobody is isolated. We're all in the exact same. I'm not. I'm in the Dominican Republic, motherfucker. The first time y'all elected Trump, I was like, huh? Let me see what happens with this from over there. Over yonder. Let me watch this from a television set. Sorry about that, but I think everybody that had a little bit of evolution left in them did the exact same thing. You don't sit in the fishbowl and say, "Let me see how this goes." Like Logic says, you got to put the mask on you first. If you're the one on the airplane that's going to help everybody out, motherfucker, you better put that gas mask or that oxygen mask on you first, or who's going to help anybody? If all the selfish motherfuckers have the mask on, and you're knocked the fuck out, who's going to help? Who's going to help? You got to get that oxygen mask on you first. y'all. It's otherwise, you can't really point any fingers. If you're in the same mess, y'all might have the energies down for the time being. We got all the Doritos, we got all the Lays, we got all of family-sized packs of species-specific energies here, all saved up, and we didn't have any sick days. We got wealth in our family to where we can have sick days, and we don't fall down. We still have this stuff. Our bosses don't get angry. You're not far. You're in the exact same model. You're in the exact same model. The same thing is happening to you genetically that's happening to everybody else. Having that little bit of isolation from the actual death line, that's not changing that much. Y'all in the same fishbowl. Genetically, everything is happening to all of you. We're not seeing anybody that is isolated as long as they're staying inside of the model. You can get outside of the city, but if you're eating antibiotic food outside of the city, everything is still happening the exact same. It's not just reducing the population. If there's zero species-specific energies, or if you're not taking part in this cycle, it does not matter how many are in the population. The fewer the population we have, the less anxiety we're going to have, the less of the yellow and the red. However, if we could have an orchard of orange trees, but if we got no protein, we could have an orchard of cows, but if we don't have oranges, we could have an orchard of cows and oranges, but if you're eating antibiotic food from a bag, food from a restaurant, and then pooping and peeing into a water treatment plant, we're going to see the exact same thing. You're still in it. You're still in it. The fewer the people, the better. However, if you don't have species-specific energies, and if you're not taking part in this human life cycle, you're going to experience the same end. Nice people. It isn't species-specific energies unless you're taking part of it. If you're not putting the microorganisms in the soil, having the explosion of the genesis of the 1,000 different population, and then those are going from the soil to the tree, and then you're eating them to complete the first human cycle. If that's not happening, if you're living on a farm, but you're eating those foods from a bag that have antibiotics in them, you're not isolated. You're not isolated. You're not as isolated as you think you are. You might not see the same amount of violence inside of your model. However, you have not isolated yourself in the least. Getting a bunker, an end of times bunker, prepping and having a bunch of canned foods that have antibiotics so they can sit on the shelf forever. Okay, your body's not going to go into soil necessarily. Maybe not from the violence, you'll isolate yourself from that, but you're dead, you're a zombie. The exact same end. You're just going to find disease that pops out where it wouldn't otherwise because of the mathematical equation. You've got to be taking part in this. Obviously, the fewer the species, the less problems we're going to have. The mathematical equation is going to be lesser. The denser we move that population bar, the faster these things go, and the faster we're going to start seeing these violent episodes pop up. But that's about it, guys. Mentally, just picture this dog on a chain and imagine that's you. Your sphere is set. The amount of energy going out is set. If you've got zero coming in, your body is going, ah! This body has to die. This body has to enter the soil. This body has to leave the equation for the good of humanity, for the good of all life on this planet. Your body is counted the smallest microorganism equal to your life or to an elephant's life. I'm not saying you're even special in this equation. To any other animal, your body is saying every life must be preserved with the same regard, respect. Amazing people. Guys, that's it. I got so much work today. But you guys are amazing. You guys are super cool. That's why I do this. I'm going to do this again real soon.